Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It is Tuesday night, and it is time to finish off the one, the only Loki. And of course, the one's killing this finale with me, we got the glorious D Saint in the house. What's good, Phantom?
Yo, what is good, DJ? Cannot wait to talk about this damn episode. The moment I saw how the name of the title is Glorious Purpose, I'm like, oh, hell no. Don't tell me you're going to kill the boy. Don't tell me you're going to kill our boy.
Oh, bringing it back. What's up, Peter Griffin? I see you out there. Good to see you. Good to see you. How's your fantasy year doing this year? Mine is in the tank. Oh, what's up, Gloria? We got AK with us tonight. How we doing tonight?
I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm in my feels a little bit, but I'm
Uh-oh.
here.
It feels about the Lokis?
A little bit, a little bit.
Loki. Oh my God, Loki season 2. It's the finale, and like my man said, it is called Glorious Purpose, just like season 1, episode 1 was. Did you realize that? Did you guys know that that was the name of the first one too?
Yes.
That was insane.
Nah, I didn't. Only thing I remember was the classic Loki. He was like Glorious
Glorious
Purpose.
purpose.
I was like,
Yeah.
instantly, that's what I thought. I'm like, damn.
Oh,
Yep. Double meaning.
that was insane. And I love the chaotic opening credit scene and how it seemed to like dive a little deeper into all the letters and the stories inside them. Kind of like, oh, we going into all the timelines. And it didn't exactly end where it began, at least not exactly. And I was happy to miss that one. Like, it needs to keep us guessing to keep it fun. I don't want to be able to peel out everything and guess it all like word for word and scene for scene. But about the only thing that was the same at the end, like we just said, was the name. That was kind of cool how they ended it with the how the end last one was the first of the beginning. So does that mean that they were always planning on 2 seasons, AK? Like, or do you think we're going to get a
I
season
think
3?
so. No. We can actually say for certain that right now there are no season 3 plans. Tom Hiddleston did an interview saying that.
Really?
So that
Yeah.
they might bring him back for some cameos maybe in the movie sector, but for the show itself it's done.
And I agree with that. Like, it feels like a complete just story arc for Loki. That's it.
Yeah.
Show's name Loki. The majority of it is pretty much about just him. Granted, throwing some Kane there, but how it ended his character and how it started, it was just
It's
chef's
fitting.
kiss. Yeah.
I think it's a good wrap for the journey that he's been on, and it does also coincide with one of the comic storylines where he is the old man in the chair at the end of time. That's been keeping the shit together. So it fits. I'm sad, but it fits.
It was a tight little wrap. I'm not mad at it. And it did, however, start this episode right where we left off the last time. And as suspected, Loki used his new time slip abilities to go back in time and try to save everyone. But that proved a little bit harder than this time around. Like, first time consuming that first thought. It was odd to see that, like, to see him grab Miss Minutes for help building the multiplier. Like, she's in the middle of helping tear everything down. What's up, fandom? Would you really ask or trust her with such an important task?
The enemy of my enemy is a friend. And if I'm that desperate, because again, how many times he's been trying to slip and trying to get another solution, get another solution, get another solution. He's like, you know what? F this. Let me go ask Miss Minutes for once. And
Hold
obviously
on
that didn't
though.
work.
Do you think he went in, during that scene where they showed that? Do you think he went in there to get Miss Minutes from there? I think it was to get Timely, not her.
No, it was
Because
Miss Minutes.
they,
He did. He said Miss Minutes,
He
even
grabbed her.
though
He's like, I know you're in your feels, Miss Minutes, but I need you right now. Let's go.
yeah.
And I was like, what?
Okay, I must not be remembering that.
Oh, yeah, it's the finale, Jake. We started on time. What's good, man? Good to see you. But yeah. He went in and he said, Miss Minutes, I know you're in your feels, but we got no time for this. I'm in a hurry. We need your help to get this fixed fast. And she was like, oh, like, caught her all off guard. But yeah, I don't know. Something that important. I don't know if I'm trusting her with it. I don't know if I could have done
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
it at all.
I will go back and get everybody else around her.
Maybe. When he asked OB how long it would take for me to know what you know, I was like, this is going to take a while. But my next thought was like, what if everything OB knows isn't enough? Like, I felt like if he knew what to do, it would have already been done already. Like, I don't know. I didn't like that in the first place. I almost felt like that was doomed to fail. And then to go back centuries and find out that it is going to fail.
Centuries, bro.
Can you imagine?
Centuries.
I didn't think
Because
it
they were
would
thinking
fail,
too small.
but it was more of like he only came up with like one solution at the time with all his vast knowledge. So if he had like more chances, like if he was able to time slip, But it came up with something
No,
else and something else, but it
it
just
still
didn't
wouldn't
work.
work. You can't account for an infinite amount of copies being made. There's no way that they would have been able to plan for that. It was always going to fail.
Yeah, that was great. And to have to go back centuries to learn all that to figure it out.
Centuries to
I
learn
didn't
all that. I
think it
mean,
was gonna be that long, but when it said century, I'm
at
like,
least he put the
damn.
time in, though. That's dedication.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
My
cool.
boy is literally an astrophysicist
But I mean,
of theoretical science now.
I know he's a god, but just how old is Loki now? Like, did he actually live out all those centuries to learn about that theoretical physics, or did he like skip it
He would
up?
have had to.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't see how he would have been able to skip past that because they made sure to give us those time frames that yes, it's going to take centuries, and then we got that little caption that said, yeah, centuries later.
That was crazy. Yeah, that's
It's
what I'm saying.
yeah.
If you like messed it up, you could just go back and try something else. But still, centuries that's a whole different time scheme. That is insane. But he actually did it and rushes everyone into place to finally get it right. And it would seem like after all this time and planning, he would actually nail this. But as we've been told, Lokis are meant to lose. And I just kept waiting for something to go wrong. But at first, nothing did. Like, how about you, fandom? Did you think this was actually going to work when he actually got through there? Or were you just waiting for something to mess up?
I thought it was gonna work eventually. I did not expect it to like mess up. I was like, okay, we're gonna do this, doing a time slip, we're gonna find out some type of solution here. And then finally, after the whole Victor Timely thing, it was like nothing. It wasn't working. I'm like, you're telling me a good 15 minutes, and he couldn't do nothing with the damn time slip.
Oh, ruthless. It's like more than that. It's like we're talking centuries deep. Especially when Loki kept saying, like, now get back, hurry, get back, hurry. I was like, oh, he is never going to make it. I thought they were just going to kill him off right there. But no, he actually did make it back, and it looked like the plan was working. But in no time, the loom was once again overflowing. And it was
Hmm.
only then that Victor realized that it was a scaling problem. Like AK said, there's no way to scale for infinite. So now
Yep.
he realizes that he has to go even farther back and try to stop Sylvie from killing He Who Remains in the first place. And it
An
kept.
even more futile struggle.
What's that?
I said that's an even more futile struggle.
Oh, exactly. And it kept repeating that scene with her always killing him. And they were sure to keep, they kept
Mhm.
replaying her saying, if you want to stop me, you'll have to kill me. If you want to stop me, you'll have to kill me. So what's up, AK? Did you think that's exactly what he was going to do in the end? Like, I thought that might be the hard decision he was going to be forced to make.
Yo, if this would have been Thor 1 Loki, or hell, Avengers 1 Loki, that bitch would have been dead within 2 seconds
Yeah,
flat. No questions at all.
they won't
Loki
even
would
have
have
a
said,
season two.
all you gotta do is die. Right. All I got to do is kill this bitch. All right, come here. And it would have been over. But no, this Loki that we have now, he has been seasoned centuries seasoned. Actually, I feel like it's more than centuries because in all of that time kerfluffle, all them mixes, we got them couple points where our boy He Who Remains just looked at him like, bro, how many times you think we've actually had this conversation? Does it seem like the first time for you? And the masterfulness of that whole conversation, all of those time loops with Kang just seemingly sitting there to the point to where Loki gets so frustrated. He's like, bro, why don't you defend yourself? Do something.
Right?
You telling the motherfucker that is the guy that you need to keep alive to do something? You already know what you should be doing. But my man's literally just moved out the way and gave up and said, all right, Sylvie, fine, go. Loki, I get that you want to keep your friend, twin, whatever the hell you want to call her, but she's a damn menace. And
Yeah.
you should have handled her in season 1. We wouldn't be here right now if you had.
There are still some things I need some things answered. Like Jake is saying, time doesn't exist at the TVA. So was it really centuries that he went back and lived, or was it TVA time and he was able to live centuries in a month? Like
They're out. I
I need
don't.
to
I
know.
don't see. I don't see it working that way. I think. I think time was still flowing. They just don't feel it like we do.
I need to know. Like I need to know how and where the TVA is at and how time works there. And yeah, again, like how exactly old? I know Loki's a god, but how old is this man out there living centuries and getting stuff done and doesn't look
I
like
mean,
he's
well, frost giants and Asgardians on just like on the regular can live to be thousands of years old if they're not killed. Like it takes a while for you to actually get to looking like you're older, like we saw Odin in
Right.
Thor 1. That took a long time. That fight with the Odins when he first found Loki, that was a long time ago. This wasn't just like 10 years of the MCU. No, there's a whole bunch of years before that. So they experience time a whole lot different than we do. So it's yeah, I think they're very old.
What's up, fandom? Is Jake right? Like he doesn't think any of these plans are going to work out, even the final one in the long run. Are Loki's truly meant to lose, or is this just Loki Prime, and this is truly going to be him running everything in the end?
I think something's gonna happen eventually. Kang the Conqueror's gonna appear like right next to him and do some type of fuck shit. But until then, he just holding the timelines.
He's just going to hold it down until it does. It was interesting to see Loki get one by Kang, though. Like you were saying, what makes you think this is the first time we had this conversation? Like that showed that Loki actually does have a chance at beating Kang, in my opinion, because like the future is not already mapped out if he's able to get one by like that.
Wait, if who's able to get one by like that?
Loki, the way he got one by Kang, when he's like, "What? You know, have we not done this? Why don't you go back a few thousand more times and come back to me when you truly get a feel for it?" And then all of a
No,
sudden,
that Kang said that to him.
right, I understand that. And then Loki was like, then Loki pulled one on him and stopped it. And he's like, what makes you think this is the first time we've had this conversation? And then Kang was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I got you.
He said, oh, you're finally learning. See, that's why I don't think that he didn't notice saying that. Honestly, I think he was just being a smartass. The way Loki likes to be a smartass sometimes when he catches people in shit.
No,
I think he just wanted to let Loki feel himself, and he saw that, okay, now you're really, really starting to get it, because he wasn't thinking on a big enough scale before.
I don't know, because he even gave him one. He even gave him the mark, like, all right, I'll mark you down for one. You got me on that one. Well done, well done. So, I mean, that's the kind of the way they played it in my eyes. Like, okay, one for you, Loki, but. So, I don't know. Just the fact that he was able to do that shows me that he might actually be able to beat Kang in the end of it. And, yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it in the end, but I think there's a reason they kind of worked it out that way, too. But Loki still hasn't quite figured out like what to do or how to beat He Who Remains. Like that is until he like looked at the equation written on the wall and realized what must be done. He's got to change the whole equation. So first, why was there just some random equation written on a wall like that? And second, if it's there, is there a good chance that He Who Remains put it there? So is this just all part of his master plan as well, like to keep Loki on his plan? Like, what do you think about that, Phantom?
He paved the way.
You think it is all his plan?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think in the end Loki's still on his plan, or do you think that Loki broke the cycle?
No. I think he's definitely still on the plan that He Who Remains wanted them to be on.
Interesting. How about you, Phantom? You feel that?
I'm still like on the fence on this one.
I don't know about that.
It's like a lot of timey-wimey when it comes to Kang.
For me, it's like he paved the way for like two paths. It's like the one path where Sylvie does die, and then he had the temporal loom thing as a failsafe. And then he has like another plan that's like, what happens if Loki does like what he does near the end of the season? But in some way, he can still like get the comeuppance.
He does know he's dealing with the god of chaos, so.
Mm-hmm. I think he would plan accordingly for that. It's very interesting how the MCU chose to tell his story, because it doesn't actually start in the past like we've been seeing. So I think a lot of that, depending on how the real world case is going with our boy Kang in real life, how they continue that storyline, I think.
When He Who Remains said, I make the tough choices, that's why I get the big chair, I felt it was right then and there that Loki knew what must be done. Like to save his friends, like he's going to have to sit the throne and take the big chair and make the tough choices.
And Kang told him that off rip.
Right out of the gate, it's like, this is what you got to do if you want to run it all. And speaking of sitting thrones, like what a great callback to season 1 when Mobius was first interviewing Loki, and Loki said that he was born to be king. Mobius said, king of what exactly? Now we see, king of it all, son. Like, oh, that was crazy. But that was such a sad story Mobius told. Like, it was telling, like, showing he had like compassion, but Renslayer could see the bigger picture. Like, what would you do in that situation, fandom? Do you let a little kid variant live and let thousands of other people die, or do you step in and Renslayer an 8-year-old child?
Yeah, I'm gonna freaking what do they call that? Prune. There we go. I'm gonna prune that child. Forget that. If I had a kid, I'd been like, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't do it. But since I'm like fatherless, I'll be like, prune the kid.
You're gonna prune. You're pruning. You're gonna Renslayer.
So I think that was like the whole thing where it's like he hesitated because in his subconscious mind, he has kids. So I think that was like one reason why he was like hesitated.
Or he hesitated because it's evil to kill a child that's not doing anything. That kid, he said the kid's just standing there.
He was standing there minding his own business. I get it.
Just say that you don't prune that kid, thousands will die.
I'm saying exactly. That's what I'm saying. I understand, and y'all know how AK feel about the babies. I love the tiny humans, but look, little boy, I'm sorry you can't go play soccer with your brother no more because if I don't cap you right now, like 9 billion people are gonna die across the multiverse, and I can't have that on my shoulders. So I'm sorry, you gotta go.
Ruthless. He's like, but I was just playing with my brother. I'm not doing anything. Why would you?
Okay, see, that's why you're not even supposed to be talking. All he had to do was walk up to the boy and hit him with the stick. Plain and simple. Cut it off. What you talking to him for? You have a job to do. You literally just have to hold your hand out and stick. That's it. Fuck them kids. Look, hashtag fuck them kids.
You know what I mean? For the betterment of the universe.
For the betterment of 9 billion people? Nah, you gone, kid. You gotta go.
So brutal. So brutal. I might take the chances. Like, we got to find another way. I'm going to Captain America. We don't trade lives.
Yeah, okay. I bet you if you gave Cap these circumstances, he would see the reason real quick.
He might. He might.
This ain't just him trying to save Bucky.
That's a tough one. Yeah, talk about the tough choices. That is a brutal one. But in the end, Mobius tells Loki exactly what he needed to hear, and that most purpose is more burden than glory, and you don't want to be the guy who avoids it because then you can't. That's exactly like what you're saying. It's like, hey, this is for the better at 9 billion more. You got to go. Did you realize that the story Mobius was telling was about himself, AK?
Automatically, absolutely.
That's crazy.
The only way he would speak with that much passion and emotion in it is if it was very personal for him.
Yeah. Did you know that right away too, Phantom? That he was talking about himself?
Of course, he's talking about himself.
It took me, not till the end.
My question is, who was the other agent that helped him like prune it?
Renslayer.
That I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, obviously.
Yeah, I was just like,
yeah.
Right before they said like, and what did you do? I was like, yeah, okay, it was.
See, you know what? Something I actually just thought about. Like, we were speculating how long Mobius had actually been on there because it seemed like he was the last one in like our timeline to get in there. But I think that's what a lot of the memory wipes were about, is to make people forget exactly when they came in.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably been in there far longer than we think.
Only because time works different at the TVA. I mean, he came out the latest. I mean, time is time, and he came out in 2012 or whatever, 2022. That's just like 2 years ago. So I mean, he was.
He had to have been there during the war, though, or before that war happened, because wasn't that scene like, oh, he wants us to prune all these timelines or these branches? So they had to been referring to He Who Remains.
Right in the end, at the very end, that's what they're trying to stop. And that's like I said, that's just time working differently and basically stalling out there at the TVA. But still, he was the most recent one. He had just gotten picked up 2 years ago. So.
But if it was only 2 years ago, like by our time, how we're seeing it, Renslayer would not have been an agent out in the field. She was already in charge. So that's why I'm saying it looks like it's linear like that for us, but it's not. The timeline doesn't actually flow right if you really try to put everything in static order like that. Because if they were out there in the field together, it wouldn't be just 2 years that she climbed her way to the top.
Yeah, that's what doesn't make sense. That's insane.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it looks like it's only 2 years, but I think it's far longer.
Or they went in 2 years ago. She made that tough choice, and they gave her the seat, and that's why she didn't even realize
that quickly though.
Maybe that's why she didn't realize that those robots were all fake, because her mind was getting wiped too, and they just put her up, and she'd only been there for 2 years. I don't know. They didn't explain that because, yeah, like I said, how did he get picked up in 2022? But he's one of these head agents. That just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, just time. They can go back at any point. They could have picked up hundreds of years ago. They could have, but they said in the thing that they picked him up in 2022, which was only last year. I mean,
the one we saw was picked up in 2022. That doesn't mean that was the original one. Yeah. And that's the problem with the timey-wimey time loops jumping back and forth like this, especially when you take in variants and there's copies upon copies of people. That's why it's hard to put together.
After the talk, he heads back to the end and has a chat with Sylvie. And at this point, I got to be honest, I was still kind of thinking that the hard choice that he may have to make was going to be to kill her. But then I was like, well, no, because if he was going to do that, he would have done that back in front of He Who Remains. So I don't know. Then I started remembering like how in the last episode he started grabbing certain strands, and I'm guessing those were the strands of his friends. Like I thought he might make like a special Loki world for them to live in, and he might be the king of that. But I guess on a lot grander scale that did kind of happen. But he's like, nope, everybody gets to live. Like I'm gonna give this chance to everybody, which is just wild.
Yeah.
You want to say unlucky, but I guess not. Like in his arc, he's just a bigger, better person. He's trying to do it all and be the better man for everybody, I guess.
Yeah, he grew a lot more. And I think one thing, I don't remember who it was I pointed out for us in the chats when me and the ladies were talking last week. It's like, this Loki that we're seeing now with the TVA didn't actually go through all of those hurts. Those big things that we saw, like he didn't know that he was responsible for his mom's death until Mobius had shown him in season 1. So he took that and it automatically hit the way it was supposed to. And I think he was able to grow from that a lot faster. And that's why we get this even more seasoned and mature Loki here for season 2 that actually sees and follows through with what that big decision has to be, to where he can have that hero moment where he's saving everyone, but he realizes he just can't be a part of it if saving everyone is actually his number one thing.
There you go. And Jake, that is a great way to explain it. Like you could pick somebody up in 30-25. It doesn't mean that it hasn't happened yet, because basically time is just a big circle. So it could be 2 years ago and he could be there for hundreds of years. That's a great way to put it. In his chat with Sylvie, she gets through to him that no one wants to give up free will. Like most would rather die fighting for it. And I'm not so sure about that, because they say when it comes down to it, most will have like a fight or flight response, but they forget about the third major category, about those people that just lay down and take a crowd. Like, and there are plenty of those people in that equation. So I don't know if everybody's just going to fight for it. Like some people,
a majority of people, like Sylvie fought. I feel like somewhere along the way she lost the plot. Like, I understand there was an injustice done on you. You didn't understand why you had to get pulled out. And you weren't they didn't even do her the courtesy of pruning her. No, they literally were just going to send her to the end of time with the other Lokis. No. So I get why she was in that mindset that she was in, but you got to grow from all this nonsense. Everything you've seen, you really can't see what the better path would be. No, she does see it. She just don't care.
Me too, Jake. Me too.
This guy would rather fight. And see, it depends on exactly what the fight is. But I will say I will 99.9% agree with that statement, depending on what everything in context is.
Sylvie said he was replacing one nightmare with another, and that seemed to like strike a chord. Like that seemed to be the moment he knew it must be done. And he walks out onto the runway, sans suit, and just right away, I was like, you had Mobius and Victor out there just wasting countless lives, and you could have walked through it like without even wearing a suit. Like that was kind of a dick move, Loki. Like, he's out there.
Is it though?
Did he know that he could do that though? I don't. Yeah, I don't know that he really felt. I don't know that he really felt that he would be okay to do that until he actually made that decision to do it.
All that art.
It's like the whole time slipping thing, because he has the ability to do it, which means he always had the ability to do it. He just hadn't unlocked that part of his powers yet. He didn't get enough magic points on the scale to activate that skill yet. So I wouldn't say that he was a dick for letting them do it. I don't think that he knew exactly that he could do that yet.
He's out there arguing with Mobius about who that little statue looks more like because he's not trying to be the one that has to do it. You don't even need a suit. But he heads out and destroys the loom, changing the game entirely. Now he who remains won't be reincarnated. Like, why? I think he still like will. It's just like now Loki will have the controls and will always be 2 steps ahead. Maybe like how's that going to work? Random? Like, is he who remains still going to be reincarnated?
He still could be if whatever happens because he's just holding the multiverse just in his hands now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's definitely going to be reincarnated. He just won't.
But then I'm confused though, because wasn't that near the end of the episode? Like, did someone like leave Victor Timely the book or no?
No.
See that's the thing, yeah. And in this iteration, that's the thing that Loki changed for that is they didn't have anything set up for Victor Timely to get that book as a kid. Victor Timely is still eventually going to still be the Victor Timely we see. He's just not going to be as advanced in his thinking because of that book. But this is why I said it's real timey-wimey, because they've shown us his beginnings in these past life cycles. He starts in the future. No, that's why like he unlike what Thanos said, he actually is inevitable. Kang is always going to happen. He will always be going into the timelines in the multiverse and becoming all of these different aspects of himself every time.
What if this is the reason we get a He Who Remains? What if this is what truly started it? Because all of a sudden, I mean, we heard OB say that this guy was ahead of his time. He should have been the Thomas Edison of his time. He could have even been better. So maybe he would have if he didn't get a cheat code and just get all these answers. He actually had to grow up and think about these things and actually figure it out for himself. Maybe he actually becomes a whole lot smarter in the end and actually becomes more advanced, and that's what creates He Who Remains.
That's what I'm saying. He is inevitable. No matter what, it's still going to happen just for that aspect of Kang, for the Victor Timely aspect that we met. It's just not going to happen the exact same way.
Right. And yeah, I think
that. But he will always, Kang is always going to be the descendant of Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four, and he will always figure out about the multiverse, always figure out about time travel, and will always turn into all of these aspects that we've seen. The whole Council of Kangs that we got in Ant-Man, that will always be a thing.
Yeah, right, exactly. They're all coming. Like he said, his variants are already out there. So, and who knows, maybe it's because Loki went back all those times, time slipping. Maybe that's the butterfly effect that created all those Kangs. Maybe maybe
you're giving Loki too much power there.
I don't know. Maybe him letting Sylvie kill him that many times is what sprouted all those and put all those extra Kangs out in the air and out like
they would have been there already. No, you remember in season 1, he said, "Well, if you take me out the game, you're gonna meet all of the other me's, and they're gonna be way far worse." So they were already there.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. No matter what they did, something was going to happen, and all of those Kangs would still come into existence.
And maybe that's why I made fun of Victor Timely, because he knows like that was just a joke. But now when he doesn't get the book and the real me comes out, now you'll see what I'm really about. Yeah, it's gonna be insane how they do that. But he heads out and destroys the loom, changing the game entirely. And now he remains, he's not, I don't know. It's like you said, he's going to be there anyway. So when he destroys the loom, all the timeline branches start dying, but he seems to be able to revitalize them, like using his green Loki magic. So are all the branches truly living, or is this like another Loki illusion, Phantom?
Nah, they're living, man. Everyone gets, eating apple pie now.
It's not the same.
Sitting there, one of those guys, the guy that we saw in the yard playing with his kids, is still getting jet skis. But then you got old man Mobius trying to retire, standing outside the house like Michael Myers, just standing still, looking across the street.
Creepy McCreeperston.
Right, exactly. Like, bro, like Mobius, what you doing, bro? What you mean? What you mean? How is it creepy? It doesn't matter. That makes it even more creepier. If you look outside your window right now and you see a motherfucker that looks just like you, just standing there staring, you're not gonna have a problem. You're not gonna look at that like that's sus as hell behavior. Nah, bro, come on, Mobius. I understand you want to retire. You got some things. You probably need to go speak to a therapist. I need you to not be doing this shit though.
Oh, yeah, that would be. There'd be nothing creepier than looking out your window and seeing yourself looking back. Are you kidding me?
Bruh.
That'd
I
be
mean, seeing somebody just standing there staring at my window is creepy enough, but if that's motherfucking me,
yeah.
when I look out there, nah, bro, nah, we going to war. Immediately going to war. Because if you were here for anything positive, you would have just knocked on the damn door and said, "Yo, AK, we got to talk, bro.
Right?
There's some shit going on in the time slip, man. We got to get ready." That I could understand, but if you're just standing there outside like Michael Myers looking at his little sister, nah, dude, nah.
He seemingly ascends to the steps. Loki seemingly ascends the steps to his new throne, like taking like all the newly Loki branches with him. So now it looks like Loki is the new OP of the Marvel universe. Like, is that what it's going to be? He's just going to sit here on the throne and be like basically in charge of everything now. Like he's the new OP of all Marvel.
He's not necessarily in charge of everything, but he is looking in on what's going on in the timelines. If something goes too far out of whack, he has the knowledge now and the power to go in and do something if he chooses to. But it's really just to make sure that nothing like super extreme goes out of whack. I don't know that he has the power to completely peer into the future to see where things are going to go. I think he's just going to keep an eye on his people because there were specific strands that he brought. While he did ignite all of the strands back once he got to the chair, there were those specific ones that he chose to grab and take with him. I think those were the main timelines where his folk were going to be. He wanted to keep those as close to him as possible, which is why it looked like it turned into the World Tree from Asgard.
Oh,
So I thought that was also a really cool touch. That was a really, really great touch and a great finale scene. But I don't think he's going to be in charge of anything at all. He's kind of like I remember I told y'all about Nick Fury. What happens with him in the comics at one point in time? He's the man on the wall. At the end of time now, that we're gonna at some point in time, I think flashback to old man Loki, and it's gonna be this Loki, much older now, that is the guy in the chair that has been keeping an eye on everything. Even when shit goes bad, he's still going to be sitting there watching. If it goes too far left, that's when he'll step in. It's like when they were looking at the case files, B-15 and Mobius before he went back to his house with the kids to stare at him, where how he was saying, there was something hinky going on in the 616 universe, but they solved it. They did some random timey-wimey, and it's cool now. That was basically their reference saying that the heist in Endgame happened, but we don't need to go and step in on that because everything that happened there was supposed to happen.
Hey Jackie, what's up? Good to see you out there.
Hey Jackie.
Allie. But yeah,
that's all I think it is. Yeah, he's just watching over everything. He's not necessarily in charge.
Man, I don't know. He seemed to put the Loki vibe on all of it. It seems like he's got his fingers in every pie now. That just seems crazy. But yeah, I like how the new Loki loom is like in the shape of the Tree of Life, or of course, for all the North mythology readers out there, Yggdrasil, the North World Tree.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
But so fade to black, and then we're back at the new and improved TVA with new signage and everything, talking about we grow together. Like a much more positive spin's been put on the message on the vibe at the old TVA. And it was
Casey has a personality now.
Yeah, there's not evil. That OB hasn't changed a bit. Like they're all rebuilding the TVA and B-15
I'm telling you.
minutes and ask like, "Are you sure?" And like OB just stops her like, "What?"
He's like,
to kill us all. And he's all matter of fact. He like just shrugs his shoulders like, "I don't know."
Man, shut that thing off right now.
Bruh, I'm saying, why is she still here? And we could tell they did something to her because she's not the like super full body Miss Minutes all the time. She was a little bit pixelated when they first showed us to her. So I don't know. I feel like that's something that's gonna be a problem at some point in time. When it will come up, I don't know, because like I said, we are not getting a season 3 unless somebody pulls some strings and some other timey-wimey things happens to change that. But yeah, why would you want her to be still on the team? What's the point of her? Y'all can get past all the fail safes now. You don't need her.
That throne is like an outhouse, Jake. He doesn't even have to move. He
Does
just
Loki get bathroom breaks? I don't think Loki needs bathroom breaks. I mean, for all we know, he could have just turned it into the chair that Timely had made. And it not only does it have beverages under there for him to have, but it can also function as a toilet when he needs it, if he needs it. I don't think he will, though.
Oh, B-15 tells Casey to tell those in the war room that she's on her way, but first she stops in to chat with Mobius. And he says, like, he'll meet her up there. And then we saw that he had a file on his desk that he seemingly requested. So I couldn't read the name on it. Like, whose file was that? Was that just another Kang file, or do you think he was reading his own file, Phantom?
I thought that was his own file.
I
Because he
thought
wouldn't
so,
know,
too.
like, where he came from and shit.
That's what I kind of thought that, but then I kind of went back and it was kind of like he gave that one file to B-15 saying like it's another variant, but everything's been handled. So I was like, was this just another variant file? I don't know. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, I had a question about that too. I don't think it was his file because he saw the other family, or his sons that were his family. So I don't know that he would need to go digging too much further for another time that he had maybe at a different point in the multiverse. And they didn't have a name that stood out there, so maybe it's just something that they're holding maybe as an Easter egg to come back later.
That was weird. I was guessing it was his file too, but yeah, I didn't know which way. Then one more thing they just kind of left open right there. So he then heads up to meet with B-15, and she could instantly tell that he's not going to stay. And it seems it's finally hit him about being a variant, and he's ready to see what exactly it is that he's been missing this whole life, what it is exactly they've been fighting for. And she tells him that he'll always have a seat at the table. What do you think? Is she going to end up being the one running everything at the TVA, AK?
Absolutely.
Think so? I think so.
Absolutely. If she's not, and that's if she isn't already doing so, because she said, well, okay, just tell them we're on the way, or some variation of that. I think they were waiting to actually start the meeting until she got there. Not necessarily Mobius. I mean, obviously, I think Mobius would have been like her right hand guy. So yeah, he would be there too. But I think they were waiting to start anything because the woman in charge was not there yet, and that was her.
So B-15 walked into the war room, and it was packed with people. So who are all these people, and where did they come from, fandom? Because if they're not pruning anymore or pulling variants from timeline, who are all these new employees willing to hunt down Kangan variants?
I was saying the same thing because wasn't the start of this season? It was like only like a 5 people or maybe 4 people.
It wasn't even no. It was 3.
It was 3.
And the dude. It was the 2 ladies. It was what the hell did I call her? Lysa Timely, and then the other lady that looked older than her. I think she was in a wheelchair, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I couldn't even remember that.
From The Witcher.
And then the guy was asleep. It was only 3 of them, so it was really only 2 that were actually working. He was asleep the whole damn meeting. I don't think he knew what was going on, probably for a good century now. So I feel like it would be easy. Yeah, well, I mean, I think they've been looking at things a bit differently. Honestly, you know what? Tinfoil. DJ, you might not get it, but Phantom, because I know you watch Cloak and Dagger. Can you see how that could connect with the shit that was going on with Roxanne? And how when Sylvie caught them in the traps in season 1, with all that stuff, the Roxanne Mart that they went to, same company from Cloak and Dagger, same guy in charge of those companies.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch
I'm saying, what if there was B-15 did remember that experience, and because B-15 is who she is, we know she would go back and do all the proper research to make sure everything was connecting the way it should. And it's possible that they have that many different people now, and they're able to travel a different way because of what Cloak can do and how he can travel between the realms.
Where did they get these people from? Like, who are all those new employees?
That's what I'm saying. They are other variants that possibly have come through the timelines that in their timeline, maybe what the significant thing that they would have been pruned for with the old TVA, B-15 is finding some other use for all those folks. And she's just pulling them out of time to work with the TVA to be the replacement agents. Because I think there's a lot of the TVA that needed to be replaced after Lysa did her stuff. I mean, more than what they showed us in that room. That was a pretty big operation that she ran.
Right.
I don't think they caught everybody. So I think it's possible all those folks were just from different timelines that should have been pruned. But since they weren't, B-15 is finding another way to utilize those folks.
I'll go with that. I thought when OB opened that box of the TVA manuals, like he was going to open it up and see Loki's picture inside as the author instead of his. I thought that was such an amazing touch. Well, they just showed him kind of smile and look weird, but
That would have been hilarious.
Show me Loki's picture as the author. That would have been amazing. But we also see that young Victor Timely never got influenced by a mystical space book, so probably got to live out his life as a simple candle maker. But if that's true, why are there so many Kang variants out there? It's like
that's what I'm saying. He will still get to being the sciencey swindler that he was. It's just going to take a little bit longer because he doesn't have that manual anymore. He has to go through and do all the work to figure it out himself. But he's smart as a whip in any iteration that he's in. Even the low-level Kangs in the council are smart as hell.
Right. We also see Ravonna wake up in the void, seemingly like Alioth coming for her. So what's up? Do you think she's going to be eaten, or is she going to tame it and use it to come back for Loki? Like, what's going to happen with Ravonna in the end, Phantom?
First off, I forgot she even existed. It was like 2 episodes without her. I'm
How,
like,
Slay?
Here she is.
Good to see her back.
Like
Come on, bro.
What I said before, it's like I don't think it's even gonna like attack her because she was the one leading, the charge and the whole war thing. So it just looks at her and it's like, oh yeah, it's an old friend. I'm not gonna do anything to you.
Can I toss you a tinfoil theory that we came up with last night?
What's that?
We were thinking that because we saw that purple glow, and that was our first thoughts initially was also Alioth was coming in there. But what if Kang from Ant-Man? We didn't see him die. He was pruned, essentially. What if that was him getting caught up there? Because where it looked like we don't have a specific name of a place where she ended up, but what it looked like was that it was that same place that we saw all of the other Lokis at the end of time, in that random void of space.
100% was the void. That's where she was at, the void.
And we were thinking that the purple that she was looking at wasn't alive, because that look on her face, that was the look of a pissed off ex, like extra woman scorned. And she was looking at this. She was looking at it at first with like curiosity, but her face completely changes to anger and rage. And we were thinking, like, what if that's Kang that's coming from the Ant-Man, and he's popping up there. So now she has another Kang to for real be pissed about. So that could be some shenanigans that come up later on. We don't know.
Yeah,
hopefully, because I think she's a great character, and I really want to see them do more with her.
No, I love that Kang. That's Kang going to save her or whatever and get her out of there. Because we saw the last thing she looked at was like she moved the grass, and it showed basically the thing that was the thing that Mobius walked over. Because I was like, why did they show Mobius like walk off that? What's the symbolism of that? And then we see at the very end of it, Renslayer moves the grass, and it's that same thing, which means the void is where the time TVA used to be standing.
Used to be, yeah. Or, well, a version of the TVA used to be. Just like if you notice when Loki's chair was forming, it looked like it was from the remains of where He Who Remains is Holdfast was.
And it was fixed. And what was that, Phantom?
Yeah, like it would like replicate that citadel, whatever he was like in.
Right. And it was being fixed with gold in it the same way. So maybe that's it. It always breaks down, and then they always rebuild it, like even stronger with the gold, like kind of like that.
Because he is inevitable.
That'd be sick. I like that. Oh, Mobius went back to watch himself playing with his kids. Like, how does that work? If there's a version of him already living there in that reality,
I'm saying, bro,
where does that leave this version of Mobius?
He can't stay there for that long. That's why I'm saying again, it's ultra creepy. And this Morbius, that's the extra problem. He knows shit can happen with two people of the exact same build, atoms and whatnot that makes up a human. Y'all can't stay in the same space in time for that long together at the same time before shit starts going real hinky.
Yeah, that sounds
That's
weird.
why they had. That's why they had to be super careful in Endgame with interacting with all of their people.
Right.
So yeah, this is already a precedent that's been set. That's why I'm worried about what he's still doing there, staring at the house. Like, bro, you need to leave.
Is he going to end up going back and being a TVA agent?
I don't know. I think he genuinely wants to just see the world. So my dream for him is that he just goes and travels a little bit. I mean, he when he puts his brain to stuff, he can get things done. So I think he could be a pretty smooth talker, and talk his way into whatever misadventures he may want to experience.
Well, like you said, it's got a heart of gold, so that'll get him far. Mobius said he was just going to wait there for a bit and let some time pass. So that's his plan, just be the weird, creepy dude standing across the street, staring at others living their lives. Like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, yo. That's sus as fuck, Mobius. I need you to have a goal that does not include stalking this family.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I need to figure something out. But speaking of just sitting there staring at others living their lives, like that seems to be Loki's new station in life. Like he finally got his throne, but it sure seems like a lonely existence. Like, I don't know. Loki's Loki. Isn't he going to get bored and just walk off and leave this? Like, what's going to happen, Phantom? Is he really going to sit there for the rest of life and just let everybody else live their best life?
You goddamn right he will. You saw that his eyes. He's like, nah, I gotta keep it down until what is it, Kang Dynasty, whatever comes around
That's right.
and knocks him off.
Unless unfortunately some bad things happen with the court cases and we don't get Kang Dynasty. I have heard rumors that they're going to switch over to Doctor Doom as the main villain. So that may be a thing that we don't even have to worry about. That happens. But I do agree with fandom though, 100%. He's not going to get bored. I thought he would too, but seeing the growth that he's given us this by the end of this season here, I think he'll be fine.
Nah, Loki gonna Loki. Sooner or later, he's gonna be like, "All right, I'm done with this. You guys have had your fun. I've been here for 1,000 years. It's time for me to go do something."
Not this one. Not this one. Only because I know that this is static canon for the comics. I think they meant very purposely to put this Loki in the chair so he took on that storyline, and they can go back and grab him at any point in time if they need to.
He's OP. Then he does. Yeah, like I said, I think it just makes him so powerful. He can go in and do anything, change anything. He's seen the past, future, and present, so he knows every move and every line you're going to speak before you say it. Like, yeah, there's nothing. Nobody.
Does he know every line? I don't think his power extends that much.
I do.
I think
once he grabbed everything and brought it back to life, he's the one that's planning everything, just like Hugh.
He's not planning Kang. I can tell you that 100% right now. There's no storyline that they're going to show us to where he planned Kang. It's not going to work that way.
No, not where he planned them. Just like but he can. I think he can affect any other life that's going on right now. I think he has the power to intervene and basically make anything happen anywhere. Because it's all his power. It's all green. Like he's the one. All the branches were dying off, and he put life back into them, which means he's the power that's giving them life and letting them live.
Or was it Kang's power that put all that in motion because he did lay out all of these steps? And even though it may seem like Loki's the one pulling the strings, no, he really isn't.
No, because it's Loki's magic that's doing it. The branches were dying. Loki had to put the green magic on them to bring them back to life. Like all those branches were dying out.
No, I understand that. I'm saying this is still something that Kang planned for.
Maybe, yeah, that'll be.
That's what I'm saying.
And that sucks. Yeah, I think they totally wrote themselves. I don't think that the last 2 episodes were what they were supposed to be exactly. I think they had to rewrite it and give themselves an out in case things in real life in the courts go awry and they can't. That they have to drop Kang completely.
You're right. I mean, I'll give you that, but I don't think the switch would be specifically that it's Loki that would end up being like the big bad in charge. Like I said, the rumors that I've heard for that, the person to sub in for that will be Doctor Doom, which actually is a really great substitute because Doom be on that shit.
I heard that,
and he's also a magician.
Yeah, I heard that is a storyline. Like they do have a Kang sitting at the end in the chair at the end of time, just with bits and pieces of it together. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But when it panned out, it almost seemed like Loki had a little tinge of a smile, like almost like he was satisfied with this new station in life. So I guess it
Agreed.
makes sense if you really think about it. Like his mom and dad are dead. He actually died in another life. Like Sylvie let him know it's not going to happen between them. So really, what's left? You might as well sit on your throne and be the king of it all and just watch it through this, I guess. So I don't know. Pretty interesting. I was actually satisfied for once. I mean, maybe it wasn't 100% what I wanted, but it was up there, and I think they stuck the landing. I was happy with it. How about you, Fandom?
Agreed.
I agree. You see my profile picture, man. I got the freaking Loki on the damn throne. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
He said, bring it up. I'm just here. I'm here to see it all, be it all, feel it all. Oh, that's insane. So
I
what do you
wasn't
think about
disappointed there was no after credit scene, damn it.
there's no after credit scene? Yeah, kind of wait.
I've stopped looking for them on the TV shows. No, I refuse to let myself be disappointed on that level anymore.
Yeah, there were not many, that is for sure. Oh, so what do you think? Scale of 1 to 10. What was it, AK?
What did I give it last night? 9.25. Very strong 9.25. Because again, it's not necessarily the ending I wanted to see, and I am very saddened that we're not going to get a season 3. Because I think there's a lot of storylines that they could continue into something great that would still lead to good tie-ins for the grander MCU as far as the movie level goes. But I'm good with where it was. They gave us some decent action, and there are still breadcrumbs if they want to pluck them out and put them into something else. They easily can. So I'm here for it. And kudos to Tom Hiddleston for his service.
Absolutely crushed it. Yeah, slayed it. How's it rank against all the other Marvel series, Phantom?
It's like I can't like say like season 1 and 2. It's like two separate things. It's like one complete thing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
still like the Loki series, WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye. I'll say that. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, Moon Knight. Moon Knight's good.
Feel Moon Knight. Yeah, that was off on
It
a
still
different.
all fits. It still all fits in.
That was a crazy one. That was a crazy one.
Oh,
Yeah,
also we got what if season 2 is starting up. I think in a couple months is what just heard.
that'll be dope. Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Definitely got to get that one. I like that. Yeah, I've been in here for all of them. Like I said, they've had some problems, and I understand like the reason they had problems is there's been fighting in the war rooms. I guess there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of different ways they want to take different things. It's like there's just too much. Like they said, what do they need to do to make Marvel be Marvel again and make it great? And like they two words, do less. So
Slow down. Yeah, that's what they
That's
need
what
to
you
do.
have to do. Slow down.
so yeah, quit doing so much and not have don't try to force feed so much in there. Take your time and make it right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. Like I said, I'm never gonna complain about too much Marvel. Like I said, I was even here for She-Hulk. Like they completely screwed up the finale in that, but then once I heard what happened, like, oh, well, I get it. That's what
Yep.
happened.
Yep.
But I
Yep.
was still here for watching it. Like it gave me something to watch, and I wasn't mad. I didn't feel like I wasted my
It was
time.
entertaining.
Exactly. Like it was quirky as hell. They stuck to the comic book line. Like I was here for it. I liked it. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
can't wait to see the next one. Can't wait to see where it goes. It looks like I still haven't seen Invincible, but that's going to be on doc next, and we'll probably just come right out of the gate with episodes 1 and 2 next Tuesday until we can get on track and see what that second day is and when we'll be able to get it in. But
Yep.
yeah, I am here for it. Can't wait to see it. I hope everything works out in real life with these trials and tribulations, so we can get this story how it was supposed to pan out and bring this Kang Dynasty story in. Like Jake said, this is one of the more interesting ones. I want to see what happens because right now
Absolutely.
I've seen this man been beaten by ants. So how bad is he?
Come on, come on. Be real now. Get a man a little more respect. It wasn't just ants.
I don't know.
Come on now, bro. And also, ants are fucking ferocious. Okay. If you are caught in the wrong part of the world and a swarm of ants gets you, you will be eaten in less than 10 minutes. I'm just saying. Don't you underestimate the ants.
We shall see. We shall see. Well, I got just a couple trivia questions. See if anybody remembers anything about this one. If you're watching, put it in the comment section if you know the answer. If you're watching later, put them in the boxes down below. Loki asked OB how long would it take for him to learn everything OB does about these three things: mechanics, physics, and what?
Mechanics, physics. I want to say temporal science, but I don't. That's not exactly how he worded it. I know we said it would take centuries.
Yep. Loki asked Obi, how long would it take for him to learn everything he knows
Was it
about these three things? Mechanics,
was it
physics.
was it astrophysics?
Incorrect. Mechanics, physics, and
I feel it's like it's some form of theoretical science that I'm blanking on the name.
incorrect, Jake. So you know that one. Put it in the chat box. You're watching later. Put it in the comment section down below. What did Victor Timely call Loki?
The wizard.
Ha! Wizard. Every time. Wizard! So sick. Where did Mobius say he and the other hunter went to track down a variant that would be the cause of many deaths?
Oh damn! I don't remember. I don't remember the location.
Anybody out there remember that one? Where did he say they went back and found that variant? What was it by? And next question: how many deaths did Mobius say the variant they were hunting would cause?
Thousands.
Yeah, I think he did give a specific number.
Oh, he did.
I want to say there was a 6 in the number. I don't know if it's 6,000 or 600,000.
In a way, you're right, Brendan.
What did you say?
Jake said Cleveland. I said in a way. I said in a way, you're right. It was thousands, kind of.
Thousands on thousands. Yeah, I don't remember.
Jake said, no, it wasn't Cleveland. That's awesome. And last but not least, how old was said variant?
Oh, was it like 11 or 9?
I said it during the episode.
I know. I don't know.
5.
Incorrect.
No, yeah, he was older than 5. 12?
That is also incorrect.
Damn it.
And that is incorrect.
I feel like
these
it's somewhere in between like 9 and 14. I don't think he was like super teenage years yet.
So funny. I thought these were all like gonna be kind of easy, but stumped them on all of them. Oh, we got 1 for 5. That's awesome. Got him. Got him.
You know, we won't be mathing over here, man. Numbers are bad.
Jake brought it home. He was 8. There we go. We get to end on a win just like that. That's going to do it for us. Like I said, we're going to be back. We're going to be doing Invincible episode 1 and 2 next Tuesday. So we'll be back for that, and we'll let you know what's coming on after that. So I hope everybody out there is having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here. Till we see you on the next one. Be easy, everybody.
Go find your